Hi, I'm Fred Abley, and I'm one of the members of the parish committee here at St. Stanislaus Cathedral. And I want to thank you for taking the time to watch this short video. In this particular video, you're going to see a series of slides that are going to lay out a proposed plan that the parish will be called together on in January to vote on if they want to adopt it or deny it and move forward with the continued plan. I hope that it's informative and it helps you understand the current situation that we're facing here at St. Stanislaus Cathedral. As with all things, we ask you to pray on this message and vote. As you can see within the agenda here, we're going to talk about why we were assembled, kind of reflect a little bit upon the parish questionnaire that came out several months ago, and then we're going to ultimately tie in how we are seeing some problems, but how we're going to address them as a parish. So ultimately, why are we doing this presentation? It is actually kind of a reflection, or it's driven by the parish questionnaire. Ultimately, it's having us focus on the issues that we're witnessing regarding membership, and then how are we going to come around and fix this issue as a whole. The parish questionnaire was a very, very important element to the parish life. However, it is a questionnaire. It wasn't a formal survey, but it does capture the concerns of roughly around 60 to 65 parishioners out of the 311 to 400 parishioners that we currently have on the records at St. Stanislaus Cathedral. In the live presentation, we did present an opportunity for everyone to have an opportunity to ask questions, but since this is an online version, we really can't do this. But if you do have any questions or concerns, please contact the rectory at your earliest convenience, or you can email us through the parish website at ststanislauspncc.org. Or excuse me, ststanislauspncc.org. So first off, we're going to take a little bit of a look at what we've been able to accomplish over this past year. We have great aspirations, but as with anything, time is often our enemy. One of the most important things we were able to address were some safety concerns with the sidewalks out front. We were able to pursue a bid that allowed us to quickly repair these and then make them a little bit more aesthetically pleasing to look at also at the same time. In an attempt to streamline the way the office is functioning, we were actually able to go in and clean out a lot of duplicate records where we were finding 1, 2, and possibly 3 copies of records that were no longer needed. We had some furniture that was donated, which also allowed us to make the appearance look a little bit cleaner and a little more professional. Over the course of the past 10 months or so, we've seen a number of events take place, not to replace other events, but kind of augment. In this picture here, you could see some of the members of the parish putting together a chicken barbecue. We held 2 chicken barbecues that were financially successful. They were very easy to run, and they were operated from the corner lot right by the cathedral. What it did show was that we were able to utilize this particular lot in a different way. In the past, it's been the home to the block party and some other events, but this year, in the fall, we saw it was the home of Trunk or Treat, and in the late summer, we saw the new chicken barbecue here take its place. We're looking for more ideas to be utilized or carried out in this space in the future, and we're always looking for suggestions. One of the things going forward, in order to understand what everybody's doing in the church and to manage our resources of time and people better, we're going to be requiring all the organizations to submit what we call the MBO form. It's a management by objective. I'm not going to go into great detail because we will be visiting the organizations to show them the form and really what it means. Ultimately, anybody can come forward in the parish with an idea and submit it to the parish committee for consideration on support. The reason being is we want to make sure everything that we're doing is focusing on getting the parish as a whole towards its goals as outlined in our strategic plan. So working a plan. We were successful in crafting our first strategic plan. It's not perfect, but it was an attempt to identify some clear goals that combines the resources from the clergy and the parish members and move us forward as we try to become more church-like and grow our membership base. We're going to also be tying it into another effort at the national level, and that's with the PNCC's future direction. We realize spirituality is the cornerstone of everything that we do. And if we combine the two of these, we think going forward, we're going to have a good, solid plan, but then it becomes important for us to actually execute it. As with all things in the cathedral, there needs to be repairs. And in this picture here, you could see the church steeple is in a little bit of disarray. This is going to be a major undertaking over the next year. And what we've done is we've stood up a committee that's going to address this particular project in a phased-in approach that's also going to be cognizant of our limited budget. So more on this will be coming forward in the next few months. So now we're going to go into the financials, and this is going to set the stage really of the next part of this talk, and that's regarding membership. So when you look at this particular animation, you can see that our membership has been trending downwards. In 2012, we had total members accounted for at 519, and in 3 short years later, we're down to 411. You could also see here that in the pink, these are the number of funerals that have occurred over those years, and then the number that have joined over those years. Expenses also here trending out. In 2010, we saw an expense accounted for about $350,000, and in 2015 it's grown to $430,000. When you first look at this particular slide, a question may rise in your mind saying, what are we doing? We need to cut more expenses. I can assure you that the parish committee over these past few years has done a lot in order to trim expenses. Whether the utilities or the way we operate, we are trying to cut back. However, certain things, due to the upkeep of these facilities, is sometimes quite expensive, and we need assistance on this. In this particular slide here, you're going to see that in order to cover expenses, we've had to actually transfer funds from our endowments and our savings. 2012, it was relatively minimal amount that was transferred out. But as you can see here, over the years, we've had to transfer out a significant amount of money. In 2015, in November, we are at a $90,000 transfer out. This can potentially go higher by year's end. So now, we have membership trending down, we have expenses trending up. This is not a good combination. And that brings us to membership. Bishop took the time to read this particular quote from Mark 12:38 through 44. I could let you pause the video at this time, and I would like you to just read this, as it sets the stage for what we're about to present to you. So currently we offer a dues model to the parishioners. The formula has always been very simple. It's simply expenses divided by the membership count. As expenses go up and membership goes down, this number gets quite large. So if we were to actually account for our true expenses and the declining membership count, we would be looking at a dues amount of $1,325 per person. Currently, the dues is $245 per person. A lot of times people feel that the dues is already too high, but in reality, the dues is quite low and it's not covering our expenses. So in light of these times and these very, very severe numbers, we're looking at an alternative. And the alternative that we're going to propose here is known as open membership. Open membership is an opportunity for you to come to the church and participate. It's not going to present you initially with this drawn out process where you have to become a member and you have to pay your dues. We have a different approach. But the analogy that we like to tie this to is one of being a membership to a gym, or having a membership to a gym. When you go to a gym and you pay your monthly or your annual fee, you go to the gym and you practice there. Say, for example, now you get injured or you have to take a year or 2 years off because life changes you. You have a family, your work is busy, and so on. When it comes time to return to that gym, they don't make you pay for the year that you took off. However, that's what we're currently making our members do, and that's often known as back dues. Open membership seems like a good alternative at this point in time simply because we need to grow our membership. That is going to be the only way we can solve this problem. Of course, we rely on people passing away in our church who leave us large sums of money that we place in endowments, but that's absolutely no way to run an organization nor sustain it. In this proposition, we could begin this once the parish votes on this. If they agree to it, we can put it into place for 2016. But I want to share with you a few comments to kind of frame this up. This first comment actually is given to us by a parent who's part of the PTO at St. Stanislaus Elementary School. When we were asking why he didn't join the church, he basically responded with this quote. He says, "I joined the church. When dues came up, I felt like I was buying a used car. It wasn't welcoming at all. We chose not to join." And some other comments. Our children didn't finish confirmation because we left. We were embarrassed because we were behind in our dues. Another one, we just got married, and when we got home, there was our dues envelopes. No welcome, no hello, just pay up. And lastly, we've had so many financial setbacks, and the dues was something we could not handle. We would come back if we didn't have to pay back dues. So in a sense, we've created a barrier for people to worship at St. Stanislaus Cathedral. So the goal, to create an opportunity to bring more to the table, to bring more people in to worship, to bring more people in to be part of our community, and then ultimately bring in more people to participate in more outreach, and then ultimately grow our membership base that can then sustain this great cathedral. So there are details, and we present some of them here. For example, this starts to shift now to what's known as a pledge model. Everybody will be able to pledge what they think that they can give for the upcoming year. Now, this pledging is an interesting approach. A lot of people say that they can't give more than $500 a year, but in reality, the $245 that they pay in their dues and then the $5 or $10 they put in the envelope each week actually equals $500, and we'll see that in a later slide. But anybody that's 18 years or older will submit their pledge sheet by January 31st. The minimum amount of the pledge will be $50, and you'll be able to contribute to that all throughout the following year. When we talk about being a member of our church, it becomes important for us to understand, what does the word member actually mean? At the national church level, it does mean something different. But in the sense of why we come to the church, it also means something different. So anybody really who's been baptized and believes in the teaching of the Holy Scripture and sacred tradition are members of the Holy Catholic Church, as is indicated here in item 143 from the PNCC Catechism. So if we were to break this all down, that $245 that you pay as a parishioner looks like this. You could pause the video at this point and review these numbers. However, when we look at this once again, if you were to put $5 per week in your envelope over 50 weeks, 2 weeks will say, well, you're sick or you're on vacation, equals $250. $250 plus $245 equals around $495. This is still quite short of the actual goal of $13.95. The dues model is actually quite broken here. However, we realize that we have obligations to pay certain fees out to the national church and specific organizations. A lot of people ask this question, really, what is the difference of open membership compared to what we're doing today? There is one significant difference, and that is this. Going forward with this plan, we will eliminate all back dues. We've realized now that if a family is $2 or $3 or $8 or $10,000 in back dues, they are not going to bring that forward. We will not see that, except when maybe somebody dies and they come forward to have that person buried in the church. Maybe, just maybe then, that amount will be paid. However, I think we have to ask ourselves once again, what does it mean to be church? Which is more important to us? We realize there's a financial requirement or a financial obligation to sustain the church, but I think we also have a bigger obligation, and that's to worship God. So, This is a lot of information, and I'm sure if you're watching this video for the first time, you may have questions. So I highly encourage you to bring forward those questions. Right now, you watched this video just as the parishioners who were in the live setting listened to it. All we asked of them was to listen, to ask some questions, but more importantly, to pray and think about what we just presented here. Then, on December 6th, we're going to create some opportunities for any parishioners who want to come and talk to a parish committee member or the clergy and ask any questions that they would like in private. And once again, question, pray, and think. Then, on January 10th, we will hold a special meeting, and we will vote on whether or not the parish wishes to adopt the open membership model or stay the course with its current dues model. There is an inclement weather backup date that will be made available later in January, but these two dates here are the most important. Now, at any time, if you can't make the 6th or any dates after that before the meeting vote, you can feel free to contact anybody at the rectory or visit us in the parish office, and we'll be glad to answer to the best we can any questions you have. We know that these are challenging times for all of us, and we want nothing but to see the church succeed. However, we do feel that we're at a special time in our existence to make some big changes. Now, this is only one of several changes. We feel that if we can eliminate these barriers of finances, people will come forward. However, there are a few other pieces too we have to continue to work on as a parish. But we feel the more people we have come forward, even if it were 5 new members, it could start to change the financial position of the cathedral. That's the end of this video. I appreciate your time, or I appreciate you taking the time to watch this. My name is Fred Abley. I am one of the vice presidents for the parish committee, and I will be looking forward to hearing from you if you have any questions, comments, or concerns. God bless you. Have a great day. So once again, thanks for taking the time to watch the series of videos and ultimately the slides. There's a lot of information in there, we realize that. Ultimately, it will be the parish's choice, and you will be invited to come to a special meeting where you will get to voice your opinion through our democratic process. And if there was a lot of information on here that really didn't make sense to you, as always, reach out to any one of us on the parish committee over the next few weeks and ask any questions or raise any concerns that you have. God bless. Take care, everybody. We'll see you soon. Bye.